Okay, now ready to start. Uh, Hello. Sorry about that. I meant to be ready and fucking started like almost 10 minutes ago. I hit start stream and then like a few minutes into like, setup and everything, I get asked to go run an errand. So super poor timing. So I had to go run that errand real quick and that took till now, so oh, but that's life. Shit happens that you don't expect, and you know, got to adapt to it. But all handled. We're here. We're ready to start. So hello, I'm back. I hope everyone's had a good day so far. Other than the interruption I had, my day's been fine. Played a little bit more of Dune Awakening. I spent most of the day just literally setting up a new base because I had to move to like a higher level area just because like moving resources from from there to like from the higher level zone to where my previous base was just eating up too much time. So now I'm just moving closer. So I took it as an opportunity to just move everything, be close to the current resources I'm using, and then what's the other word I'm looking for? And like install some upgrades. So that's what I was doing. Other than that, I just chilled out. But I go back to my day job tomorrow. My little vacation is over. Oh well, it was fun. It was a nice break. Like having more than like a couple days to like decompress, relax, and unwind was really nice. Alright. But we will pick up where we left off. Oh god. Just gotten done talking to Fiona. So now we have to go to the house.
Edwin, it doesn't make sense. It's terrible, and there's no logic behind it. It happened, and you have to deal with it. You did it before. We can fix things together. I am here to help.
Yeah, that has to be, like, that says Fiona, but that has to be, like, the machine one. That has to be a response to, like, him losing his mind over, his son being gone. Jeez, this thing's torn apart.
Good evening / morning, Mr. Murray. The time is 5 a.m. Burning the midnight oil, I see. Here are today's facts.
Active project status. FASFAIR project. Over budget. Behind schedule. End of active projects. Bank account status. Overdrawn. 11. Loan payments are past due.
Ooh, that's not good.
Legal
11.
status. You have received 22. Court summons.
Oh, that's really not good.
NCM status. Poor. Employee count. 0. Safety. Emergency alerts active. Productivity. 0. End of update.
In summary, nothing to worry about. You got this.
That sounds
Think
like a lot to worry
positive
about.
and believe in you.
Sounds like a lot to worry about. That is a very bad condition. Back to the FASFAIR project's like behind schedule or whatever means that's the last thing he was working on. I'm gonna have to do the elevator thing again. If I don't, I'll be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, because, like, here's the window for it, so maybe going back, if I have to, like, go back, then I'll have to do it, I don't know. I'm just surprised if that would be there if I wasn't supposed to do the minigame thing, or the puzzle, or whatever. Throwing chunks of his home. So we can pump in fucking molten lava. Oh shit. Well. Hi buddy. What's up? He's literally just fucking right there. Like the second I get out. That's so bad. Jesus. Fucking horrifying, dude. So I'm just screaming. Oh, I'm dead. He got me. Well, shit. Like, it was literally just like booking it towards that fucking kitchen as soon as I opened that safe. Oh, shit. Trying to open the doors just so that I can, like, do, like, quick transitions for it. He's on the far side. There we go. I'll pass him.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday, sweetie. Mommy made this special for you.
Wow. Fiona, he turned out great. I think it's your best one yet. David, look at this. Look. Arr, arr, arr. Ahoy there. Sugar me timbers.
Oh, honey, you're scaring him.
No, he loves it. Look, see, he loves it. Arr, yarr, arr, yarr.
Baby's literally screaming, bro. Chill out. 2. Okay. So whatever I need has a 2 in it. You gotta make a note of that.
You there?
The grand prize is a mystery.
Yeah, I can't tell if that, like, garbled voice... Because, like, I know the high-pitched garbled voice is the mimic, right? But the, like, the deep garbled voice... See, that one, I don't know if that's the mimic or if that's, like, fucking Edwin.
I know you are excited, but you can't let them know about me. It's not safe. They wouldn't understand. Keep it between us for now.
Yeah, because they shut it down because it's crazy. Oh shit. Okay. But I think as long as he breaks line of sight with where you hide, he won't get you. It's like, even if he sees you go into whatever closet or whatever, if he breaks line of sight with that closet on the, like, on the path to you, he won't like capture you. But if he's got direct line of sight the entire path, then he'll get you.
Games cutscenes are my favorite.
Trying to get to the that film thing because it's got the code apparently. So that's a distraction thing.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Wait for Mama. Mama loves presents.
David, Mommy's gone. Not all gone, buddy. In a way, she's here. She's with us. Mommy will always be here, watching over us. You better start opening. There's a lot to open. I gotta get back to work.
Damn, bro, can't even take your kid's birthday off of work?
I miss you.
11. Green is 2, blue is 7. I'm really thankful he can't crawl through these vents, even though, like, he clearly should be an appropriate size to fit in these vents. Because if the Mimic could crawl through the vents, then I'd be really fucked. Oh shit. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. It's so weird how some of the sound is muffled, but not all of it. Needs 2, blue is 7. Let's find out what red is. Oh shit. Ooh.
Edwin, Ed, get out here. You're missing it.
Just give me a minute. I had the best idea.
Okay,
This is
well,
it. This is the one. Bigger than the Cleanovac.
that's great, honey, but you're missing the party.
David's 2 years old. He won't remember a thing.
That's not the point. We have guests.
Besides, he's got plenty more birthdays. Next year will be even better.
Well, hurry up. We're doing the cake in 5 minutes, with or without you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Green's 2, blue is 7, red is 1. Oh, weird. Oh, there, something must be loading weird. Take a second. Okay. Yep, you gotta be careful about that. Sometimes they just double back. The number of times I've been caught by that in like any like patrolling enemy game. Oh. Second I thought I lost it. That was real lucky. I did not expect him to be literally at the bottom of the stairs. I was hoping he'd path further.
Keep looking. It's around here somewhere.
Where is it?
Oh, you're cold. Getting hotter. Hotter. Happy birthday, buddy.
Hey, Saint.
Happy birthday, sweetie.
Okay, I need you to take over now and make dinner. I gotta go back.
Of course.
How you doing? As you can see, I'm like hiding out. I'm dodging the mimic throughout the house. I'm not fresh. Yeah. I say that as I'm being actively hunted. Sorry that you're still not feeling well though. Hopefully feel better soon. God, feeling off sucks. Feeling sick, just any type of like just knock to your health fucking blows. Oh, I hope you feel better soon. Other than that, I'm doing alright. Just playing more Dune and then pretty much just chilling out. Enjoying my last day off before getting back to my day job. As I go back to work tomorrow. I know, right? Employment, day jobs, work.
Try and try again.
Away. Watching home movies.
This is great. He's gonna love it. Fiona, did you make this?
I baked it myself
Oh, Jesus.
for David's special day.
Great job. You just continue to surprise me. I think we're ready. Okay, everyone hide. Fiona, go get him. I left him out at the playground.
that was pretty fucking wild to actually see the mimic like in like a video, like to see it like just the actual endoskeleton of it. It's 2, 7. Because again, I was so distracted by the fact that the mimic was on like the film reel that I like wasn't paying attention to the number.
I baked it myself for David's special day.
Great job. You just continue to surprise me. All right, I think we're ready. Okay, everyone hide. Fiona, go get him. I left him out at the playground.
The fact that you left your child unattended is wild. Freak. Two, 7, 1, 4, 2. I'm trying to remember because like it wasn't fully in like chronological order, which I'm assuming that's like the actual code, like the door code order. Like 2 was definitely first because that was when he was an infant. 7 was after Fiona's death, so that was later. So I think 1 was from his birthday. The second birthday. I think it goes 2, 1, 7, 4, 3. But there is a collectible in David's room that I need to grab. The fact that he's got fucking like chains and meat hooks hanging up all over his house is fucking wild. Oh wait, it corresponds to these colors. Duh. That makes way more sense. The fact that the picture's there twice means that the colors go to these. I figured it'd be chronological order of his life, which makes, you know, more sense to me, but since I put that photo there twice, that's obviously the right way. I think it's like a prototype of the Cleanovac, like one that he made either into a toy for David, or maybe David made it himself. Shit. Oh my god. Like he's just, oh my god, he's just fucking on my ass. Really tight. -2. Magenta. I'm sure magenta was 1. Blue was 7. Red was 4. And yellow's 3. 2, 1, 7, 4. I think that's what I had said before. So it might already be chronological anyways. I don't know why I hit 5. I remembered numbers. It's a miracle. Oscar Maney. Scale model. This is probably like what he dreamed of, like the final product being or something. Received 5 minutes ago. But let's start here. Spring locks. Fiona, the new spring locks are working well, even with the water damage. They should be ready for the diner soon. I'll just make sure to warn Ken about some of the more odd behaviors they might have. So this must be like the first iteration of the spring lock suit that went to, like, I think probably either Fredbear Family Diner or like the early pizzerias. 'Cause it says diner, so that's a pretty specific call out. And home, my home. You received 5 minutes. Edwin, I'm sending you a technician. He has your M2 blueprints as well as executive access. While the M2 began as a copy of my program, I believe it can become something more. It wasn't me, it was different. Somehow it has been damaged and is malfunctioning. M2 can no longer be controlled, it no longer listens, it mimics rage. It has done many bad things. No one who enters the MCM is safe. Please reconsider, finish the program. So this is probably like Dispatch or William Afton or fucking Fazbear Entertainment or whatever, trying to convince them to like finish the Mimic and to like make the complete version of it or whatever. Or maybe this is Fiona, I don't know. Actually, that might be it, because it says copy of my program. So this might be... Yeah, this might be from Fiona to Edwin. Fiona might have been M1, like the first iteration of the Mimic, and it worked fine. And then M2, the second iteration, being like David or whatever, got fucking fucked up. Which probably was by Edwin, because when it tried to mimic David, he fucking beat the shit out of it. He literally attacked it, so that's probably why it fucking is mimicking Rage, because that's the last thing it got before being damaged. Oh, jeez. This whole chunk of his house is just gone. Poor little Cleanovac, he's trying to figure this out. He's just like, I don't even know what to do. Poor little guy.
Test. Journal entry. Too bad the new power test was a failure. Due to a minor detonation, there is damage to my office interior, as well as a small fire. Note to self, portable cleaner that gets rid of smoke damage. Oh, better yet, a Cleanovac attachment.
Help! M2! Respond! Emergency! Call for help!
Daddy's busy, buddy. Why don't you go outside and play?
Oh.
Please! I can't move. I can't feel my legs.
You know, speaking of legs, what do you think? I just finished mine. There are still a few kinks to work out.
I'm sorry, M2. I lost my temper. I was always gonna fix you. Please, call for help. M2, respond.
Oh, can't right now, buddy. We can do something fun tomorrow. I promise. Ask your mom if she's not busy.
M2, help.
Sounds like Edwin's probably dead. Wonder if his body's down there. Yeah, it's definitely not good. Because, M2 was like... That's the wild part, because, like, M2 was sounding super coherent, right? So why is he acting all fucked up now? I know, right? Well, it sounded like he was playing... Like, it sounds like he was just abandoning him. Oh my god, that is so fucking funny. I wonder... I'm like, can you see these lines? You can see these lines, right? Okay, so can you see how that's like a flat texture out there? Like the mountains or whatever, like this whole valley, like the distance stuff is like a flat texture. Yeah. So I have two guesses. Either that was like this is like artificial, and he like just had these giant fucking fake fake like mountain walls to like give like this area the feel. Like the in-universe answer, I guess, would be like Edwin had these giant fucking walls built to simulate nature, even though like he's in an industrial area, just so that his kid can feel like they're in like a you know, in like basically a woodside cabin or whatever, instead of like a fucking, you know, factory. That's like my in-universe guess. But like my meta guess might just be that the textures are so bad that they forgot to smooth all this out so that it's like super easy to see. Because like when you scroll back further, you can see like higher up. So this is a wall right here. This is a wall of like texture or collision. And then that up there, like the skybox, is higher than this. So you can see past it. So yeah, those are my two guesses. Either this is like in-universe, like fake, like purposefully, as like Edwin building a faux foresty kind of thing for like ambiance and for his kid or something, or they just did not do this texturing smoothly and like didn't smooth all this out before the game came out. So it's either a dev mistake or it's like intentional lore stuff. Like a whole valley built around the playable area. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let's plug in and see what's up. Access alternate Fazbear designs, that's redacted. Access puppet designs. Ooh, puppet. It's also redacted. Can't access the alternate Fazbear designs to see what changes they wanted. My guess is, like, if I was going to take a guess at what the alternate designs were, that would either be the Funtime animatronics, or that might have been, like, him just asking for them to have more room in them so that they can stuff bodies into them. Cameras, like, all over the factory and stuff. Dude was just literally watching everything. He was like, this is paranoid. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm paranoid, but I'm not this paranoid. Like, if you're this level of paranoid, you're fucked. Like, I don't need to watch everybody all the time. I'm just aware of my immediate surroundings. That's it. This is just insanity. So I'm not this paranoid. Hello? Hope I don't butcher your name, but thanks for the follow, Teresia. I hope I pronounced that right. I hope I didn't butcher your name. It's been good. It's just been, what was it? We're like in like I think the final stages of Secret of the Mimic, so it's been pretty good. Been fucking dodging that robot. Holy thing, like, man, that thing's on you. He moves quick. And then listening to like, what is it? Listening to Edwin's like descent into madness. And then also trying to figure out who's like been playing us, because like, I'm pretty sure, from what I can tell, I'm pretty sure like the Fiona robot is what summoned us, and then M2's been the one pretending to be Edwin. So I'm trying to figure out what layer all this is, because it's all a bunch of like mind games. I'm really curious to see what happens next. It's something. If you like puzzles and running from murder robots, is definitely a good play. I will say, like from a technical standpoint, it runs better than the Steel Wool's last game. God, why can't I remember the name? Security Breach. There we go. That one. This one runs a lot better than Security Breach did. So I think they like learned a lot from that one, because this one plays way smoother. Like, it's still got some kinks in it, but it's like way smoother. Yeah. If you played Security Breach and like it at all, or if you just like FNAF in general, this one is a pretty solid like entry into the franchise. It's pretty good. In the cradle. Oh. Oh, that's not good. There we go. Oh god. Run. Yeah, this place is literally like we're just burning the house down.
Edwin, it's me.
Do you mean like time today, or do you mean like in general? Like, how long have I been streaming, like, overall? Because it's overall, then it's been like a few years, I think, at this point. Honestly, time flies for me. I don't really... God, when did I start? I think either 2021 or 2022. I've just been hopping on and just playing games and hanging out. That's what I've been doing. I don't really have like the brain for content creation, but I like just hanging out and playing games, so I just kept doing it.
It's been a long time since we had a chance to talk.
I'm not Edwin.
I hope you're taking care of yourself. Knowing you are still trying to hold it all together. But the company doesn't matter anymore. It's over.
I don't know who those
let it
guys are.
go. I beg you.
Yeah.
Put it all aside and fix M2.
Yep, it has been a hot
It is
minute.
not too late. You can stay up in the main house if you want to. But would you consider visiting every once in a while?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But I miss my child more. I watched him grow up through this machine. I want him back. It's not too late to fix our family.
So this model I commissioned through an artist I found on Fiverr, because I've never directly communicated with an artist before, so I wasn't sure, the hesitancy with like trustworthiness and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not really good with direct communication, so going through a third-party service like that, which ensures that both parties get paid and the product they want, that was what I used. So this model, I commissioned this design, or I commissioned a model. They sent me a design. I agreed. The design they sent me was really cool. It was this, and then they sent me the finished product. A few weeks after that. Overall, it didn't take long for them to to make this design and model, which is really dope. Yeah. Yeah, I really liked it.
Entering standby mode.
Oh, that's not good. He's just like grabbing those beans.
Surprise!
Oh, thank goodness. So I probably, like, if I ever switch to like, that's what I'm looking for. Hold on. Oh, thank goodness. Just barely dodged it. So if I ever switch to like a 2 PC setup, I might consider it. At least like maybe like a singular 3D model, like, because one, they're super expensive and like time consuming, and they also, like, you need a pretty decently beef PC to run it. So like with the intensity of the games I play, as well as like how intense it is to run a 3D model, it probably just wouldn't be feasible on my current setup. So if I either upgraded to a higher end setup or just like a 2 PC setup where I could like have stream and the model on one PC and then the game on the other, that would probably make that feasible too. Am I missing panels? You're talking about how like I don't have like a frame. I generally don't when I'm playing games, just because me personally, I like having the largest amount of screen possible. Like, just because anytime I would watch streams and they were like in like frames, it always was harder to see like the game and like the details. So I was like, if I'm playing a game, I'd prefer to just have the maximum amount of screen possible. So that was just more like my personal decision. Whereas like I do have, like, if I'm like just chilling and chatting out, I do have this setup. Because like I do have like scenes already set up. It's just this one's more like my hanging out one, or like media stuff. Like, so if I'm just like, if I'm where's my brain? Like if we're like watching like lore videos or like meme stuff or what have you, like I'd use this one. But when it comes to games, I like to have like the maximum screen possible, just so that anyone watching can like, you know, just have the most real estate. So at least for overlays, I'm all set for right now, but I appreciate the offer. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind should I ever look into more or different overlay stuff. So thank you for the offer. Resume the game. Oh jeez. Oh shit. He fucking busted that door. Oh god. I definitely missed something. Okay. There's probably a lever or something or a button I was supposed to hit.
Surprise!
I'll definitely keep that in mind. Thank you. Oh, there it is. Checkpoint. Dang it, you got me. Um, um, probably not like right this second, but if you let me know where I can find your work, I wouldn't mind taking a look to see if it's something I would be interested in commissioning at some point in the future, possibly. But at least for like right now, I'm just playing this game. Yeah. Like Sam said, if you got like socials or something that we might be able to look up. Oh god. Oh god.
Surprise!
Not here. All these little bots, I don't even know where those shits came from. Oh god. Oh thank goodness. Oh shit.
Time for us to say goodbye. We hope you were inspired by our showroom tour. And that you leave here with exciting new ideas to make your family fun centers even more spectacular than they already are. We appreciate your business and will always be here for you. Check back often. Our technological wizards never stop dreaming up new costumes, games, and experiences. So, remember the name Murray when you think fun. We're not going anywhere. Drive safe.
Yeah, you say you're not going anywhere, but I mean your building's on fire, so you kind of are going somewhere. These little bots are literally running for their lives. Oh shit. Oh god. It definitely isn't the good ending. Jesus, that's so dark. Yeah, I think by the end I missed 5 collectibles. I think I had 20. But I couldn't complete the Moon EXE thing, which I'm sure that's probably the path to the good ending or whatever. Possible. There is New Game Plus in the out there. I like it. Stuff I just couldn't collect. That was fun. Fucking babies, what the heck is that? guess we can at least check it out, see what it looks like.
Arnold. Hey, buddy. This is Dispatch with Fazbear Entertainment. How are you feeling?
Well, since you asked, I just finished a 36-hour shift, and I'm struggling to stay awake. Frankly, I tried to tell my manager that I can't work like this anymore.
Awesome to hear. Well, listen, we need you to take one more shift for us, since you're our closest technician in the area.
Wait, what? I can barely keep my eyes open.
I know. The grind is exhilarating, isn't it? And we're so happy to have you on the Fazbear team. You can't fool me, though. You're just trying to snag one of those $25 gift certificates at the end of the year for outstanding performance.
What? No, I'm doing it because you guys keep threatening to dock my pay and repo my truck.
I love that enthusiasm. So anyway, this will be a piece of cake.
Yes, I don't need to go through that whole opening sequence again. That fucking just being like.
I just pulled up.
Ignored by dispatch.
Good job.
Doesn't look like anyone's here.
I'm sure you're right. Those motion sensors never tell the truth.
Okay, well, how am I supposed to get in?
To access the building, you've been provided with a data. Good job. Well done. That data diver is your master key to the MCM facility. Do not lose it. Now get in there and retrieve our property. Over and out.
Is it brighter than like the first time we played? But I feel like it was darker last time. Because I feel like it was like pitch black. This feels like either daytime or morning. I know, right? Like, I didn't think that it would be different either. But it just feels brighter. Like, I feel like the first time it was darker. But I might just be imagining it. I have no clue. Must have been the playground where students have David play. Also, why in the hell is it not within the fucking the property gates? Like, why would you have the playground that your kid's being watched at outside the fence? So that he can literally just wander into the fucking woods?
Welcome, potential buyers, to Edwin Murray's Costume Manor, the leading powerhouse in costume entertainment and carnival game technologies. Woo! Come in and see what Murray's can do for your carnival, amusement park, midway, or fun fair. This client tour will show you just what I'm capable of. Get ready to be amazed. Don't forget, every one of my creations are available for purchase or lease.
I think I'll probably stop after getting to the security room. At the security office. I'm just curious.
Welcome! The show's just begun. There's so much to be done. You want to be here to stay. It's a one-of-a-kind fantasy workshop where you'll quite simply be amazed.
It's still horrifying. I love how the gator's got one too, like on the upper mouth.
A death-defying dive! Hit it, Mr. Octopus!
A new world awaits. Now it's time to explore. Step right up. Don't be scared. It's time to open the door.
Yes, it is definitely a stereotype. I feel you on it. I get it. Also, like, oh wait. Do crocs and gators grow their teeth back?
If you're there, pick up.
This is the mail that I forgot to grab the first time through.
Just follow the soothing
As soon as I
sound of my
learned
voice.
how to access the mailboxes, I was like, oh, I missed that one that was way back at the start of the game. And I guess it wasn't even important. It was like August 3rd. Hello, here's your mail for today. Your mailbox is full. Last mail received 5 weeks ago. Foreclosure notice. Please respond immediately.
If you're there, pick up.
Oh. This little tiger.
Hey, you made it. I knew you would. No one doubted.
This must be like one of the
And those who did are
requirements
now out
from like New Game
$20.
Plus.
Not that anyone here at Fazbear Entertainment was wagering if you would survive or not. I mean, how immoral would that be?
Extremely
But
immoral.
seriously, great job. Now that you're there, and it would be very difficult for you to turn back, I should probably level with you a little. We're still detecting movement in the building that you're in, and
I find that
we have a
hilarious.
little bit of an idea as to what
Like,
it might
hey, now
be.
that you can't
Well,
leave,
Murray made some neat stuff over the years, and unfortunately, it seems that one of his most creative inventions may have encountered some homicidal glitches in its programming. Now, these things happen, and I'm sure it's nothing to worry about, but you should probably worry about it. He was working on an endoskeleton that can adapt to any costume or character, large or small, with the ability to take on the persona of the character it occupies. With the addition of the aforementioned homicidal tendencies, of course. We'll be working on some ideas on how to neutralize this rogue endoskeleton. But in the meantime, just try to be quiet, careful, and focused on the task at hand. Always being mindful of the fact that this entity could potentially be inside any costume or character that you see.
Yes.
All right, take a deep breath and get back in there. Finish the job, and that $25 gift certificate is as good as yours. Right now, you should focus on finding a way to turn the power back on. It looks like you don't have a security level high enough to leave this office, or enter the power room for that matter. Use that data diver upgrade machine. It should give you clearance to open the door. It's very important that you update the data diver whenever you find an access station. This is not optional. Now go find that power room.
I don't know.
Over and out.
All I'm hearing is like corpo speak, which I'm used to. That's funny. I remember, like, you remember the first time I did that one, like, I just sat there and let it go back and forth before I figured out to, like, switch tracks. But hearing that, I freaked out over it, that's pretty funny. I know there's plenty of stuff I was freaking out about on this one. It's driving me crazy. Nice. Good for him. Because, yeah, like, I definitely didn't figure that out. Like, it took me, like... I don't even remember which mailbox it was before I finally figured out that you could access them. Because, like, I saw the bow tie on it, and I just assumed that you needed the executive level permission for it. which I don't know why I assumed that, but like, yeah, that's just like where my brain went. I was like, oh, it must need that, I guess. Yeah, I mean that's what it comes down to a lot of the time. Sometimes you just try something and it's just
Check,
it
check.
fortunately works
Testing,
out.
testing. 1, 2, 3. Great news.
Yeah, because like
Power
I
has
just
been
saw this
restored to this
symbol
wing of
and
the
assumed
building.
that that was the
Overhead
permission I
paging
needed.
works. Come on back to the security office for further instructions. Oh, and try to be careful along the way. We are seeing some strange readings in the area. You haven't seen anything unusual yet, have you?
Actually,
Great. Head back to the security office, and I'll give you more instructions on what... Well, that was
I want to
quick.
posit this.
So, let's talk about what you're there to find. Obviously, this possibly murderous endoskeleton has encountered some unfortunate glitches, but that doesn't mean the idea isn't sound or valuable. We think that endoskeleton has a lot of potential, and that's why we want you to retrieve Murray's original schematic for it. And after you find that schematic for us, we can certainly try to maybe find a way to probably save your life from it. If that's not incentive enough to find the schematic, then I don't know what is. Get that schematic, and with some luck, you can deactivate that endoskeleton and collect it for us as well. I can just smell that $25 gift certificate, can't you? You need to reach
No, I
Murray's
can't.
executive suite. That's
I
where
smell
the schematic
death
most likely is.
and metal
Your data diver doesn't
and
have
fire
executive permission yet, so you can't get anywhere near it. Not a problem. We just need to find stations to upgrade
and
your
2
data
different
diver
like
until you can
homicidal
gain
robots.
access. They're all over the facility. In fact, there's a station up in the warehouse manager's office. You should head there next. But before you go, take a hand crank for the security fence. Looks like you can get one from the inventory tube system. That's the big machine in the security office. Should be active now.
What tiger doll? I think that puts me at 21.
Now, what are you waiting for? Keep on trucking.
Over and out.
Okay. Cool. That's what I wanted to get to. I just wanted to get to the checkpoint so that that I saved the white tiger doll. Yeah, New Game Plus saves your collectibles. My assumption is that because some can only be collected in New Game Plus, or at the very least that last one, it would be cool to force people to have to collect all of them again. But think, yeah, I think we'll close the game here because we finished at least a playthrough of it, and then I think we can just look up the other endings, and then we can probably look up like an explained video to try to make sense of all of this fucking insanity. Like I said, that was fun. This was a solid game. Yeah, look, it even has a little plus. Do you find it weird that you need to like go back to this menu in order to be able to exit the game? So let me pull up YouTube. So I'm just gonna hit my BRB screen real quick while I set up for this. Okay. I think we'll go with this one. Probably check out the next one and so. There we go. Okay, there. I think that's got the full window. Volume. Right, let me know if this is too loud, or too quiet, but I'm gonna start this. So, bad ending, true ending, secret ending. Okay. So this first one's the bad ending. Quiet. Okay, hold on. Okay, how's this? Oh, 1 second. I think I'm gonna switch the audio channel. Yeah, I'm super tiny up here.
But here you are.
There we go.
That data diver has exec permissions, and you found the blueprints. You made it the farthest, farther than I had expected. I can't believe it was you. Put that data diver in the inventory system. It'll go right to where it's needed.
Okay, is the audio good now, or is it too loud, too quiet still? So the bad ending is if you had submitted it.
A job well done. Head on out, it's over. I've opened the garage for you. You can just
hop in your van and drive home.
Who moved my van?
Arnold, there you are. We've been trying to get a hold of you all night. Why didn't you answer? Fazbear Entertainment has no other option but to let you go.
What? I just talked to you. You told me to give you the data diver.
Yeah,
and,
like that was the same thought I had. It's like, how does Van get there?
So you admit it? You misplaced company property.
No, I gave it to you.
Fazbear Entertainment will hold you personally responsible for lost or stolen property. What did you expect would happen?
I did everything you told me to.
Don't call us. Our lawyers will be calling you.
Yeah, they're trying to clean this up real quick. Oh shit.
You found the schematics. Great.
Yep, so that's the bad ending. So, yeah, if you had done what they told you to, you would have gotten fired and killed. Because, yeah, like, you hear all that garbled static, so that, like, that clearly shows that, like Fiona had hacked our dispatch, like, our radio or whatever, and tricked us into thinking it was either Fiona or the Mimic. One of them tricked us into thinking that, they were dispatching, got us to do all this.
Right away. Time to wrap things up. Check in soon.
Well done, Arnie. I didn't think you could do it, but here you are. That data diver has exec permissions, and you found the blueprints. You made it the farthest, farther than I had expected. I can't believe it was you. Put that data diver in the inventory system. It'll go right to where it's needed.
So yeah, this is what we did.
What are you doing? That area is off limits. Give me the data diver. Arnie, buddy, you're making a huge mistake. You have made your choice. You are not going to make it out of here alive. You could have helped. If you had just given me the schematics, we could have fixed things.
I thought you were different. I thought you might understand. But you're just like the others. The other technicians, the workers. They didn't listen, and it caught them all. Now it's your turn to play dress up. When he catches you, which one will he choose? Who are you deep down inside? Another worker bee? A bumbling bee? Perhaps a busy bee? In many ways,
tonight has been a comedy of errors. A jester would suit you well. Or a bunny, running from danger, scared and stupid, searching for a hole to hide in. No, you did everything I asked up to this point. You were an obedient dog, a good dog. Then you bit the hand that fed you.
Oh, dark. He's so mean.
Entering standby mode.
Bro, like he's cliche like Porco Moon. He almost missed the lever the first time, too. Although he didn't get caught by the little ones as much as I did. So I find it so fucked up, like how it's torn up, like his fucking, like his.
Time for us to say goodbye.
Like these, like
We hope you were inspired by our showroom
Mr.
tour.
Mr. Helpers.
And that you
Like the
leave
ones that
here
are
with
on these like
exciting
crack
new
things,
ideas
they're
to make
both
your
really
family
fucked
fun
up.
centers even more spectacular than they already are. We appreciate your business and will always be here for you. Check back often. Our technological wizards never stop dreaming up new costumes, games, and experiences. So, remember the name Murray when you think fun. We're not going anywhere. Drive safe.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that this is the true ending. So I guess we did technically get the good ending. Yeah, this is the secret ending.
You're almost done.
Yeah, I saw the ones I missed, like, or that I was missing right away. I will say this moon minigame is pretty dope. Let's see.
You're almost done. What are you doing? That area is off limit. You have made your choice.
So this lets you access.
You are not going to make it out of here alive.
I'm pretty sure this lets you access the doors you couldn't
if you had
in
just
the house.
given me the schematics, we could
the
have
glitch
fixed
permission is what it was saying.
I thought you were different. I thought you might understand. But you're just like the others. The other technicians, the workers. They didn't listen, and it caught them all. Now it's your turn to play dress up. When he catches you, which one will he choose?
This is really interesting.
Deep down inside. Another worker bee? A bumbling bee? Perhaps a busy bee? In many ways, tonight has been a comedy of errors. A jester would suit you well. Or a bunny, running from danger, scared and stupid, searching for a hole to hide in. No, you did everything I asked up to this point. You were an obedient dog, a good dog. Then you bit the hand that fed you.
So rude. You're so mean, bruh. Fuck off. Find all 6 tapes and put them in. Okay. So I'm assuming there's 6 glitched rooms. Definitely smoother at this than me, because damn, like, I was taking so fucking long. One person's just got fucking down to science. More. Two more. Yeah, Mimic was literally right outside the door. I'm glad to know that I wasn't the only one running into that. The Mimic was just like, what's up? It's like, hey, what's up, buddy?
Try and try. Try again. Here's what the secret ending like looks like the actual ending part. Like this sequence I totally get.
Welcome to bedtime. Would you like a story to help you sleep?
Hold on. Someone's missing. David? Where's David? Come out, wherever you are. There you are.
Do you remember how our story begins? Once upon a time. That's right. The bouncy blue bunny hops through the forest down to the garden patch. Isn't that nice? So, what happens next?
That's right. A clumsy
So this has to be like some type of reset sequence?
Marbles. They had fun picking them up. Oh no. What did they do?
That's right. A pesky puppy yipped and yapped. She made so much noise that she gave everyone a headache. Oh no. What did they do?
What story is this?
That's right. The bear saw everyone arguing. The group yelled and gnashed their teeth, and it scared the bear, and he ran away. This shocked all the friends when they realized that anger didn't solve anything. They all started a band and lived happily ever after. The end.
They got a bug.
The moral of the story is that friendship is the real treasure. Now it's time for bed.
That was the weirdest bedtime story ever.
Your parents love you. Sleep tight.
That is so fucking creepy. Like, that's so fucking off-putting. I don't know, dude, like, oh man, that's so weird. What those guys to say for explaining
Secret
this.
of the Mimic is here, and frankly, it's one of the best FNAF games we've ever gotten. It might be my favorite FNAF game they've made so far. It's really that good. The gameplay, the horror, the writing, everything about it I enjoy. But as much deserved praise as the game is getting, a lot of people are walking away from the story a bit confused, which I guess is the mark of a good FNAF game, especially after any other ending besides the first. So what did that game mean? What did its endings mean, and how does it connect to the grander story? Well, Slices, put on your aprons and let's find out the secret of the Mimic. Don't worry, that'll be the only time I make that pun. As far as the basic story
said the name of the game!
We are Arnold, a sleep-deprived, wet, sopping towel of a man whom I love. We also work for Fazbear Entertainment, and dispatch tells us that we have one last shift for the day. Edwin Murray is a contractor for Fazbear, but he's disappeared. And per his contract, now everything he's been working on is forfeit to Fazbear, so we just have to go and collect whatever he was working on. We're warned that several motion sensors in the building indicate something's moving around, but we're then told it's probably nothing. So we enter Murray's costume manor, and quickly find Dispatch through an intercom system in the building itself. Once we're inside and the power's on, Dispatch levels with us. He tells us that the thing moving around is likely an endoskeleton. One of the last things Murray was working on was an endoskeleton that could fit into any costume and replicate the persona of any character. It would have been really useful to have if it didn't have, quote, homicidal glitches. But if we're able to find the original schematics for the endoskeleton, we can not only fix it, but then Fazbear can use it in all of their animatronics. So Arnold does just that. That's our main goal in the game, to retrieve the original schematics of the Mimic endoskeleton and
I love how he's
fix
just
the
brushing
Mimic
his
so
cat.
Fazbear can use
Like,
it
this
in
is so
all of their
perfect to me.
animatronics. As we go through the facility, we have to hide from the Mimic and defend ourselves from the various costumes that it takes. First Jackie in the Box, then Big Top, who I thought was Big Top Music Man, but I think he's only ever referred to as Big Top, but obviously you see the connection here. Dolly the Nurse, and Chica. Yeah, literally Chica the Chicken. This story takes place while Chica the Chicken still belonged to Chica's Party World, and was soon to be, or just recently was acquired by Fazbear. Eventually though, you get the executive status on your data diver, which allows you full reign of the facility and the Mimic schematics, the reason we came here. After a weirdly ghost supernatural encounter with this white tiger costume, we make it back to the main office and we talk one more time to Dispatch, who says job well done and tells us to return the data diver to Dispatch through the inventory system in the building. This is where we start to get the different endings of the game. If you give the data diver through the inventory system to Dispatch and leave, you're able to get into your van and go. But once you get into your van, Dispatch calls you over the radio and tells you they've been trying to get in contact with Arnold all night, and that they have to fire him because he hasn't been answering his calls. Arnold explains that he's been talking to Dispatch the entire night and just gave Dispatch the data diver, to which the Dispatch in the van says that we admitted giving away company property and that we're going to be sued for losses. But if all that wasn't enough, in the back of the van, Arnold notices a light, and adjusting the mirror, the Mimic tagged along for a ride. It reaches towards us and knocks us out, and we come to inside of the suit of what appears to be a prototype Freddy Fazbear in what appears to be a prototype Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, right next to a prototype version of Chica and Bonnie performing on stage
this is where we were.
for the Mimic. Frankly, it's an ending that rightly has been called out as very similar to the main ending of Help Wanted, and that's not an accident, but we'll get there in due time. So that's the basic plot of the game, but already some things aren't adding up. It doesn't take a genius to realize that Dispatch was the Mimic the whole time we were in the building, but if that's the case, why was Dispatch trying to get us to work against the Mimic? Or rather, why was the Mimic hunting us down and trying to stop us if our goal was explicitly for the Mimic? Well, to understand that, and the other two endings, we need to start talking about the stories underneath the surface level of this game, starting with the story of the entire business itself, Murray's Costume Manor, and its eventual downfall. Murray's Costume Manor was originally owned by Edwin Murray's father, Edwin Sr., but working at the facility as a creative inventor, Edwin Murray found great success with his product, the Cleanovac. Frankly, it was the most successful thing he'd ever created. They made statues of this thing. It was so wildly popular. Ever since then, he'd been trying to chase that feeling and make something bigger than the Cleanovac, and failing it every time. Edwin Sr. died a little earlier than expected, and Edwin Murray, still very young, inherited the entire business. He wasn't a businessman, but he would have to try his best to keep the business alive. He kept throwing out more and more Murray co-inventions, but they were often half-baked or had serious problems that weren't found until it was too late. All these inventions ended up causing was more lawsuits and more costs to the company. The costumes the facility created were selling fairly well, and that's where pretty much any of their money came in, because the inventions just kept costing the company more and more. But luckily, while the company was in a bit of a downward spiral, longtime business partners Fazbear Entertainment approached with a contract that was a bit too big to refuse for how the company was running. If Edwin could get this Fazbear contract done, they'd have enough money for everything to go back to normal. The commission is never specified, but judging from what's been created in-game, it seems to be an entire prototype replica of a pizzeria, befitted with prototype animatronics, a bear, chicken, and bunny to perform on stage, and 2 Springlock suits, Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. Very important note here, these are all prototypes, to the point where the main band looks like they're made out of scrap metal, and the Springlock suits literally have prototype on the back, so I don't think these are the finished versions that end up being used by Fazbear. I want to be clear here on that. Fazbear kept approving the project as it went on, approving all of the art and all of the directions that the things were taking shape in, but as they started getting to the end, Fazbear kept sending more and more change requests, costing more time and money and making Edwin have to throw out months of work at a time. At this point, Edwin was at the end of his rope, the end of his money, and about to lose the only contract that could save this company. But he didn't know until it was too late that this was all part of the plan. On the other side of this contract, whether through jealousy or wanting to dominate the market, William and Henry had planned to ruin Murray Co. with this contract from the start. They wanted to absorb Murray's Costume Manor, all of its assets, and as many employees as it could. So they made a...
Wow, that's crazy. So, like, let's see, my assumption was that Murray was like this timeline's version of Henry. But the fact that it's an entire third creator, that was then, like, basically screwed over by these two is way crazier. Because, like, in the mail thing, we never saw any references to Henry. We only saw references to W.A. being William Afton. So, like, I just assumed that Murray was, like, the stand-in for Henry. Because he was, like, similar to, like, what happened with Henry being killed by Baby in, like, the first, the main FNAF titles, like the Gen 1 stuff, Murray was killed by the Mimic. So my guess was that Murray was supposed to be Henry, but if that's not the case, and, like, Henry and William, like, screwed over this third inventor is pretty fucking wild. Because at least in the earlier lore, it was, like, explained that, like, what was it? I think it was, like, William and Henry were both inventors, but, like, Henry was the better inventor between the two. So, like, Henry did most of the actual, like, engineering, whereas, like, William had the better business sense. So he, like, was the face of the company. But he still was a good inventor himself, which is why he was able to do, like, all the other shit that was, like, you know, making the fucking murder bots, basically. Everything that made the animatronics so dangerous was, like, that was William. Like, William was good at, like, the dangerous modifications, whereas, like, Henry was good with the, obviously just most of everything else. But the fact that there's this third person who basically, honestly, I from what I can tell, like, he's the real genius to it, because he invented, like, at least according to this, he invented the endoskeletons. He invented the like, the whole, like, basically the whole, like, autonomous animatronics. Like, through the Mimic, he invented the autonomous animatronic. And then, like, although the others were possessed by, like, dead kid souls or whatever, like, the fact that he invented two different artificial intelligences, like, this, like, Murray was way better than the other two. So, like, I could see it being jealousy at that point, because, yeah, like he was insanely ahead of his time. Like, could you imagine what Murray could have done if he had like, you know, more advanced technology? Like, if he'd had basically, if he had the technology that was available in, like, Security Breach, imagine the crazy shit he could have made. Like, if he had Fazbear's, like, endless money and, like, resources, oh my god, he would have been fucking off to the races. It would have been insane what he could have done. But yeah, I did see what you said, like, given who Afton is this person, yeah. He's definitely the type to screw people over. It's why he did it to Henry as well. Fucking killing Henry's daughter and shit. So, like, but yeah, like, this is actually really neat. And like I said, I love that he's just like grooming his cat this whole video. Like, this bit right here alone is making so much of the video for me. Because, like, don't get me wrong, his like explanation is great. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. Because it's really concise and the way he's speaking is super clear and really easily to understand. It's all digestible and whatnot. But I don't know, man. I just love cats, and the fact that he's just like grooming his cat and not addressing it at all is like fucking hilarious to me.
A contract with Edwin Murray, one so big that it would nearly capsize Murray's Costume Manor if it failed, but so lucrative that Edwin, who's very trusting and very desperate, couldn't refuse. Especially since it seems as though Edwin and Henry were close long-term friends. They were on a nickname basis, and some lines have Edwin saying, "like we always do." As the company weaned on this secret project, William Afton started secretly contacting several Murray Costume Manor employees and offering them better positions with better pay, even offering bonuses if they can bring over other Murray's Costume Manor employees with them. To top it off, they made the contract more difficult as it went on, changing requirements, telling them to change everything by the end of it, and just making it generally impossible to work with.
Aren't they insane? The look of these new animatronics is Fiona's design, and they're great. Oh, first they approve the art, then they approve the proofs. Now they change their minds. Well, we're so close to final. What?
Okay, but the fact, okay, so he said that Edwin and Henry were friends. They were on a nickname basis. Like, the fact that Henry then jumped ship to Fazbear and was willing to screw over Edwin, like, that's real evil right there. Because it's like William's already just like, we already know he's the bad guy. But the fact that Henry was willing to jump ship as well, that tanked so much of his credibility. Because throughout the series, he's been portrayed as like the wronged party, you know, like the like almost like a vengeful spirit kind of thing, where like they were like, you know, Henry and William were like business partners, they worked well together, blah blah blah, and then like because he was jealous, William lashed out at Henry by killing his daughter, and then like they had this sort of like basically blood feud. So like Henry was always portrayed as like almost a victim, you know, kind of thing. But if he was part of Murray Co. or whatever, and then jumped ship to Fazbear, and then additionally helped poach talent as well as like basically, you know, screwing over Edwin by constantly changing the fucking orders, like that's some real bullshit. Like, unless all of that was only William and Henry didn't know at all, like that's some real fucking just like that's some real two-faced shit.
Why would they change them now? Are they pulling my leg? The new concepts are frankly creepy. It doesn't matter. I'm not changing a single bit of her work, and they can't make me.
And after everything began to fail, and the company begins to default, and employees are leaving left and right, William Afton and Henry Emily offer Edwin one final solution, and we get the second half of that letter. Software development and the entire MCM catalog. We would love to keep you on as a lead engineer. Although we now technically own the land, we would never touch the house your parents built. We feel this offer has been more than fair, considering how far behind you are. It's just too much for you to handle alone. We are waiting for your response. WA. At its lowest point, Fazbear buys all of MCM, all of its property, and all of its remaining software. They even offer Edwin a job as lead engineer, but I get the feeling he was never able to take it. In fact, this audio log tells me that this is around the time he shuts himself off in the manor to work on the mimic some more.
Edwin, never forget.
What?
They're behind it.
What?
Don't trust them. Never tell them. They want to destroy you. Dad was right.
Also, if this video is helpful to you and you like FNAF, I make a weekly FNAF themed podcast and a weekly FNAF or other horror game theory every Friday. So subscribe and stay a while. And if you like gaming, I stream on twitch.tv/RideToastYT 4 days a week, every single week, and I edit down and upload those streams and clips to RideToost, my second channel. And if you like audiobooks or compilations, I upload that to my third channel, Ride Doze, and I just started a D&D campaign with these amazing creators as well on that channel. So if you like any of that, go find it. The links are in the description and on screen. Look, I hope this video does well, and if it does, I'm gonna self-indulge a little bit. This business side story is what we begin to see in the two other endings
Definitely
of the
gotta remember
game.
hitting like on
If
this video
instead
after
of
it's
giving
over,
the
'cause
data
this is
driver
good.
to
This is really
dispatch,
good.
you instead run the parachute.exe program with your newly found executive permissions, a secret hatch opens up in the office. Immediately, dispatch drops the act and starts threatening you, saying that it's too late, you won't make it out alive, and that it is going to catch you and stuff you into a suit. You go through this secret tunnel to end up at the Welcome Show lobby, to which you can now play the Goodbye Show, which allows you into a lower part of the facility, the same part where that secret prototype Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was being created. Once we get there and turn on the power, the Mimic arrives too, putting on an amalgamation of Fazbear parts and looking really cool while doing it. We have to use the prototype springlock suits that were created here
I don't know if I call
to
that
get
cool.
into
It's
the
pretty
security
fucking
office,
horrifying.
as Dispatch, or whatever Dispatch really is inside the security office of the prototype Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and is keeping us out using the security cameras and locking doors on us. It's essentially playing FNAF 1 in reverse, which is an incredibly cool concept. Eventually, when we drain enough power, Dispatch relents as there's nothing more they can do and lets us inside the security office, to which we see this. So if we've been being chased by the Mimic the whole time, what is this? Well, to explain that, we'll need to delve into the personal lives of Edwin, Fiona, and David Murray. Oh my god, Jesus, Mark. Now, I think I should put a bit of a disclaimer at the rest of this video. So far, I've only barely speculated on the lore of this game. A lot of what I've said is pretty much in the text or just barely implied. Like, it's very clear this is kind of how the business stuff went, this is what the Fazbear contract was, yada yada. However, uncovering the true story of Edwin's family life is a lot trickier. There's a lot of weird details that don't perfectly line up that we're going to have to speculate on. So take what I'm about to say about their family with a grain of salt. It could be wrong, but as far as I'm aware, this is my best guess for how Edwin's family life was. And also, in this video, I don't have too much time to go into every piece of evidence as to why I believe this. So I'll show relevant evidence in the background as I mention things, and I'll point out some evidence as I go, but as far as deep dives into the evidence itself, like moon.exe, you'll have to wait for future videos for that, because trust me, we're going to be talking about this game for years to come. Edwin met Fiona while working at MCM, and eventually they got married and had a son named David. However, as the business started to go sour, Edwin began burying himself deeper and deeper into his work, ignoring and neglecting both Fiona and David, and eventually tragedy strikes. Fiona went to go help the Fall Fest crew set up for their first annual show, but unfortunately, at that Fall Fest was a fire, and Fiona died inside. This is a deviation from the lore we know from the books, but I think this is the most likely answer here, as a statue in moon.exe depicts her as burnt with the snow globe of the first ever Fall Fest, and we know from the audio logs that she went to Fall Fest, and after she dies, Edwin's first audio log is, "Why did you go? You weren't even supposed to be there." In her wake, Edwin is at a loss. He doesn't understand how to keep working at his job, keep taking care of his son, and keep everything together, until eventually, one day, he swears he hears Fiona in the basement of the facility.
Recording? Test. Levels are good. This is where I heard it. It's her or someone that sounds like her. Set frequency to 4625. Hello? Hello?
Oh my god.
Is anyone there? Over. Say something. It's me, Edwin. Over.
It's a voice that's been recorded on devices before, but he swears that it's her spirit manipulating this. So near that basement, he begins working on the Mimic. Building it off of the technology he's already had in several other inventions, his goal is not necessarily to replace Fiona, but to make something that can help him watch David the only way that he knows how. And eventually he does make M1, an endoskeleton that can fit into any costume, change its shape into any size, but most importantly, recreate any personality. And somehow it works, and it adopts the persona of Fiona quite quickly. But M1 tells Edwin to keep Fiona's identity a secret, as the others might not understand. So Edwin presents M1 to David as his new babysitter and companion, something that can put on costumes and play with him and take care of him while Edwin gets some work done. This does sort of work for a time. M1 is Fiona when Edwin's around and just the Mimic when everyone else is, and M1 can take care of David while Edwin works. But eventually, tragedy strikes again. On his birthday, David ends up dying at the playground that Edwin built for him, and he takes this loss especially hard. But M1 convinces him there's another way. M1 reassures him that even though this loss was an accident and unavoidable, he can fix it. He's done it before. Look at Fiona. So Edwin tries his best to make M2, a robot that could theoretically replace David, just as M1 replaced Fiona. But for some reason, it just won't work. M1 worked, and he's still not sure why. I think it's likely that M1 is possessed by Fiona herself, and that's the spark that Edwin can't seem to recreate. Eventually, growing desperate, M1 is willing to give up her body so that M2, David, could take it, and M1 can wait for Edwin to make another body in the meantime. So Fiona is moved into the MXES, Mechanical X-Form Experimental Storage Container. It's then renamed to F10N4, or Leet Speech for Fiona, and she waits there, while Edwin is supposed to make David out of the remaining body. And it begins to work, but it begins to work too well. Edwin starts to realize that this has all gone on much too far. None of this is his real family, none of this will bring them back. And once that robot started mimicking David, copying his mannerisms and acting like him, it was too far and it was too painful. In a fit of rage, yelling at this robot that it's not David and it can't replace him, he beats the Mimic and destroys its legs. Soon after, in the manor, an experiment in Edwin's office goes wrong, and an explosion traps him in the rubble. It's unclear if M2 made it this way, but it's clear that at this point, M2 wasn't destroyed, just beaten, as we get this very chilling audio log in the aftermath of the explosion.
Yeah, this one was fucked.
Journal entry. Too bad the new power test was a failure.
M2!
Due to a minor detonation.
M2's the one speaking?
There is damage to my office interior, as well as a small fire. Note to self, portable cleaner that gets rid of smoke damage. Ooh, better yet, a Cleanovac attachment.
Help! M2! Respond! Emergency! Call for help!
Daddy's busy, buddy. Why don't you go outside and play?
Please! I can't move. I can't feel my legs.
You know, speaking of legs, what do you think? I just finished mine. There are still
That's a really
kinks
fucked
to
up
work
parallel.
I'm sorry, M2. I lost my temper. I was always gonna fix you.
No, you weren't. Don't fucking lie.
Call for help. M2, respond.
Oh, can't right now, buddy. We can do something fun tomorrow. I promise. Ask your mom if she's not busy.
This is insane.
Help.
Yeah, the fact that M2 is just like, yeah, I'm
and there
Edwin
we have
now.
Fiona, M1, inside of the MXES system, and this amalgamation of David and Edwin and the agony involved inside of M2. Again, there is more to this story, especially in Fiona's motivations and possible culprits behind David's death, but those are better served for later videos that focus on those topics. For now, with that context of the family in mind, let's go back to the other two endings of this game. When you meet Fiona in the security office, she tells you that you can still be useful. After all, we've collected the schematics for the Mimic. She's convinced if we can give these schematics to Edwin, he can repair M2 so M2 can go back to being David again. It'll fix this violent glitch in him and he can be their sweet little boy, and Fiona can have a child once more. So you take Edwin's tunnel to the manor itself, and M2 is already pacing the halls looking for you. And here is where you have two endings. The second ending has you make it into Edwin's office after figuring out the code, and that's where you find that it's exploded and you hear that audio log. But you activate cradle.exe, and then attempt to escape. The Mimic and several of the failed Mimic 2 copies are chasing you the whole time as the facility burns down around you. You do make it to your van, but so do they, and in the car chase trying to escape, eventually the Mimic itself breaks through your windshield and causes a crash. In the wreckage, Arnold seems to maybe die, it's unclear, but the Mimic doesn't go for the kill. Instead, it just takes your
car's
data
on
diver,
fire. We're
attaches
definitely
it to
dead.
itself, and walks off into the night.
We're
But
literally on
if
fire.
you've collected every collectible and beaten Moon.exe, which will definitely get its own video, you'll receive the glitched permission to your data diver, which allows you to access all the other doors in the manor. Inside of all of them are cassette tapes with bedtime stories on them. Once all of them are collected, you get event access to this boarded up door, which houses David's room. Once inside, the Mimic exits the closet and begins getting confused on what it's meant to do here. So if you use the storybook recordings of David's parents, M2 will fight back and forth between trying to kill you and trying to be David, until eventually you confuse it enough that you've stunned it and inject the data diver into its programming, uploading the original schematic and repairing M2. Once you've done this, it easily reverts back to David and acts just like him, going to bed and telling his parents that he loves them. So at the end of all of this, which of these endings is canon? How does the Mimic end up at security breach after all of this? Does Arnold survive? Well, these are all questions for other days, but I think the most important question that I can capstone this video with is solving what is the secret of the Mimic. After all, the title of the game implies that there is one singular secret that we are supposed to walk away from and know. And we learned a lot about the Mimic in this game. He's got like at least 8 secrets. I think with all of the information we get in this game, the main secret we are supposed to walk away from, and the thing that explains a lot of previous games made by Steelwool and Scott Cawthon, is that the secret of the Mimic is that there are 2. One of them, M1, was originally Fiona, but is a more digital version of the Mimic, something that's able to replicate personalities. And the other one, M2, is an endoskeleton with violent tendencies that's just trying to lash out against its environment and the world around it that never cared for it. It definitively explains why in the games Glitchtrap and the Mimic seem like 2 different entities. They are. They're 2 separate iterations of the same idea. But then how does Fiona turn into Glitchtrap? We are so back. Mysteries are back on the menus, boys. And that's pretty much all I think is relevant to cover today.
If M1 is supposed to be Glitchtrap, that's fucking crazy.
And if you still need to catch up on gameplay, I took all 3 of my streams, edited down the downtime, and made it one long 13-hour video playthrough of all of my playthroughs and all 3 endings on the second channel, which you can find right here. If you want your fan art featured on the channel...
That is wild. Okay. So it seems like it'll still be a while before we get like full explanation and theories on like what these endings are. Like the first one's pretty obvious. The second one is pretty straightforward. It's honestly that secret ending that's probably going to be the heavy like theory fodder for a while. Like yeah, because like there's so much to unpack. Like if it didn't require playing the entire game again, I would like to see the secret ending myself, just because like I'd want to more closely look at the like David's room and stuff, and like the stories, because like all of that was really weird to me, because like that bedtime story was fucking madness. Like it was literally just insanity. But then like I don't know, like the back and forth between it, like changing between David and then like whatever the fuck the murder version of it was supposed to be was really odd too. And then I want to see if like Edwin's body's actually somewhere in there too. Like if it's just implied as in down in like that the rubble down there, like at the bottom outside, like where I was speculating before, or if like he's actually physically somewhere in the building. Yeah, if it didn't require playing the entire game through again, then I definitely do that. But yeah, I just don't have it in me to do it all again. Um, yeah, it's a lot. And as far as like the secret of the mimic, like hmm, to me, the real secret is like everything about Edwin. Like to me, that's the real secret. Like the secret of the mimic is that like it's in a way it's like the start of a lot of things because like I don't know if like because the thing that's like yeah there's a lot of questions I had because like M1 M2 like just that mimic body like the endoskeleton of it was this the like first iteration of an endoskeleton like a fully autonomous one because Edwin invented that but that same like other than like the other than the ability to change sizes that mimic endoskeleton is like the same type of endoskeleton well similar it's a similar type as all the rest of them from like here on so like it's basically saying that Edwin is like the true source of like the endoskeletons and that Edwin was the first one to find out about like soul possession because the fact that Fiona's spirit latched onto the mimic endoskeleton means that this came before all the other shit. So this came before like this came before all of the FNAF games, right? So this came before all the FNAF games, meaning that like William Afton and Henry finding out about like remnant and possessed endoskeletons and shit, they weren't even the first ones to do it. Edwin was. Right. Because yeah, like if that exactly like if William found out that that you know a third person was able to figure out how like if he found out that there was a soul possessing a fucking endoskeleton, he would have been all over it. And that would make sense why like I guess Fazbear Entertainment is so desperate to get the mimic because like it's just it's like fucking it's just proof. Right. Yeah, like there's a lot of things that aren't super clear yet. So I do hope they make a DLC like they did with Security Breach, like with Ruin and stuff. Um so fingers crossed they make a DLC because then that would give me more motivation to actually do all of it. Um but yeah, there's a lot of questions I have. Because like one my next question would be like how involved like how aware was Henry about what William was doing to Edwin. Like, were they both actively trying to sabotage Edwin, or was it like Henry just had to leave because he had to make ends meet because he also had a family, so he left to Fazbear because it was just a better financial option. And then while he's working over there, he might think he's doing a favor or something. Like, I'm just curious how malicious Henry is. You know, that's the thing I'm curious about. Was he as malicious as William, like saying like those two were two birds of a feather, or was he like more like an unknowing, like sort of like a naive partner, thinking that he was like just trying to find greener pastures, but actually helping destroy a man, you know? Or if like there's a third one, if like maybe Edwin and Henry had a bad falling out somewhere, like maybe there's some type of secret note or something. Like if Edwin and Henry had like a really bad falling out, and that was the catalyst for Henry to leave, that would make sense. So like Henry leaving Edwin's company for Fazbear, the only two reasons I can see that would make sense is if they either had a really bad falling out, or if like Henry did it for like financial reasons, because again, he also had a family. And then he said it really briefly about like potential nefarious things happening to David, like his death not being an accident or whatever, which, I mean, that would also be like a quote secret of the Mimic, is that like David's death wasn't an accident, it was a murder. And which you could probably go back even further and say that Fiona's death wasn't an accident either. Like, it's very possible, like, because if we're suspecting foul play, we might as well suspect it all the way, right? Because because it's about where Fazbear came in. If Fazbear came in like after Fiona's death, but before David's death, then William, being, you know, a child killer, William might have killed David in order to further spiral Edwin, and also like, you know, you know, sate his like murder lust and all that shit, since he's a serial killer and all that. But if Fazbear was involved earlier, because like there was a bunch of Fall Fest references in Help Wanted and stuff like that. So to me, the question is very plausible, at least, that like William might have just killed Edwin's whole family. Like William might have set the fire at Fall Fest to kill Fiona, and then when Edwin didn't fall apart enough, I guess he might have also killed David to further push him over the edge. But it's also possible, like, because I'm just thinking, right, exactly, because like fire is just a constant thing that happens around FNAF games, but also around William, because William and I guess Henry, and Mike, like a lot of the protagonists and antagonists of this game use fire. Like, they use fire, like, specifically, like, they're arsonists. So to me, it is entirely plausible to at least entertain the idea that Fiona's death wasn't an accident. Because it's extremely suspicious that the only time there is an accident was when the wife of the CEO of the company that they're trying to take over and like steal shit from is like vulnerable. because I'm sure like on the day to day, Fiona was probably like at least super close to Edwin, and also the fact like you saw how much fucking security shit was at the factory, and I assume roughly that much was probably around their home as well. So like the only time that Fiona and but also David would be like vulnerable would be anytime they're not in the manor or the factory, which for Fiona was at Fall Fest and for David was at the playground. Because again, I even remember when I just called that out a little while ago, why the fuck is that playground outside the fence? Because that's the only reason that David would be vulnerable is if he was outside the fence. Like that, yeah, like it's like at least narratively it makes a lot like narratively it sounds really good that like that both deaths are like, you know, foul play instead of like one or both of them just being purely accidental and they just happen to drive like Edwin to a specific type of madness where he creates the mimic, you know? Because it's like, because at least the from what's currently presented and what we've seen, the way that in my head that it works is like William and possibly also Henry, but maybe at least just at the very least just William wants to like undermine and take over like, you know, Edwin's stuff, like because things don't start happening until after Edwin takes over as CEO, right? So like it's to me it's plausible at least that William was aware of the company but couldn't do anything while Edwin's dad was still like, because here's the thing, like remember when, because he also like, and I can just keep going further, like because when Raito said that, like because I don't know if like he was referencing something specific or if that was like his like flair, like, you know, just him being like dramatic, you know, just for you know, just narrative reasons, just like storytelling reasons, but where he's talking about Edwin's father dying early, like quote early, because he said that his death was quote early. So like we could even like scope out further that like maybe Edwin's dad was also fucking taken out by Henry, or not Henry, by William, because it's like this company is a direct competitor of Fazbear, right? So like, because both companies are about like animatronics and parties and shit like that and entertainment, so they're competition. But like Edwin's company is also a supplier because they make a lot of shit too. So like, so the way that it works in my head, at least the way that I'm seeing it, is like either through the early unexpected death of Edwin's father or through foul play by killing Edwin's father, William could have like purposefully set up a scenario where Edwin, being too young and not prepared and also not a businessman, is forced to inherit leadership of a company he can't handle, meaning that he knows that it would eventually tank because Edwin's just an inventor. He just wants to make shit. Like, he's not a businessman. He doesn't really even care about the business. He just cares about being able to invent stuff. So like engineering a scenario where somebody who's unprepared to take on the mantle, thus almost guaranteeing that the business would eventually end up in ruin, where he could then basically just get all the shit that he wanted from it, like the blueprints, the fucking, like, you know, the equipment, the people, like everything he wanted to gut out of the company at like dirt cheap prices. So the way it works in my brain is that like either Edwin's dad's death presented the opportunity, or William just basically started murdering this man's whole entire family in order to engineer the downfall of this company so that he could acquire all of the like all the assets at like dirt cheap. And then throughout like the descent of Edwin's life, the discovery of like the discovery of like agony, remnant, possessed endoskeletons just happens to take place, which then further cements like William's obsession with taking everything, which like causes him to just cause even more like fucking turmoil for Edwin. Because like I could totally see William being like, hey, I want to take over this, because again, we've already established like he's a serial killer, like he kills people, like that's just what he does, like he's a killer. Like, so I can entirely see him being like, hey, I want to take over this, like I want to take all the good shit from like our biggest competitor, because he's got a lot of like tech and shit that like we could use to make our shit better. And then like Edwin's dad's death would either be an opportunity, or again, it could have just been William doing the dirt himself, because they don't say how Edwin's dad died as far as I could tell, so it's unclear how he died. But at the very least, that to me, that's where it kicks off, because Edwin inheriting the business was the critical fail for the company, because Edwin was not a businessman. He was not prepared for it due to being young, but also he just wasn't a businessman. Like he's an inventor. Like he's a dreamer, he's an inventor, and he's just like, in a lot of ways, like, because he's part narcissist, because like he's obsessed with being great and having his greatness recognized, because you see like he starts neglecting his family, despite the fact that he loves like Fiona and David as much as he does, he also equally neglects them. Like the fact that he's willing to brush off his child's birthday in order to like continue doing inventions and shit shows that he like doesn't have an appropriate appreciation for his family. And like you could argue that it's due to the pressure of like the business failing, but like to me that's not a good enough reason, because like even when shit is like bad, you do like there's just certain shit that you need to like handle, right? Like neglecting your child's birthday is not a good way to respond to like financial struggle, you know? Especially when your wife has to remind you, and also when you're like when you're part of a public-facing company, you've also got guests. So like your entire public image is starting to crumble because you're just seen as like a recluse at that point, and you're also seen as neglectful. So like he's not helping his image, and his obsession with like inventing is also not helping. Because like Rytos had said, but also we had seen it in like various parts of various parts of like lore bits and stuff, that the suits and stuff that they made, like the mascots, that was the bread and butter of the company. Edwin's inventions were almost entirely worthless, other than the Clino. So if he had any sense for business, he would have just stopped. He would have stopped putting his business, like he would have stopped making inventions, and then just let things stabilize, because that's all he would have had to do. Like, because again, the mascots and stuff were still selling. If at any point he had just stopped making inventions and trying to like, get the next, capture lightning in a bottle a second time, if he had just let the business run, it would have been fine. It was the fact that he kept trying to force the next idea that sank the company. if after like, because like because if it were me and I was him, yeah, I would probably done like one or two inventions. But as soon as like one or two failed, I'd have been like, okay, like this isn't it. Clearly, this isn't working. It's like, and then I would confirm like our mascots are still selling well, right? Okay, so then this is just what we'll focus on. We'll just continue focusing on the thing that's making us money and expand that. Because you gotta fucking just hold on to what's making you money, right? Edwin's big mistake was like chasing that recognition of making a fucking, a big invention that was popular. He was trying to hit a second jackpot, and that's just never going to work. Yeah. Yep. I totally agree. Because yeah, like he like Raito said it, like they were like his inventions were like half baked. Because like they had so many unnecessary features in them and were so weird. Because like, and the marketing was super weird. Like the marketing for all of his inventions were terrible. They were really off-putting and creepy. So like, even if people wanted it, it still would have just been weird. Like the one that still trips me out is the fucking coffee one, the latte thing or whatever. Everything about that ad was super weird. The realistic mouths, that was weird. The function of it, the fact that it watches you and memorizes your coffee setup so that it can do it. Like, why would like, it's a coffee maker. It's totally fine to just let it be a coffee maker, but no, you had to make it a fucking like a spy thing. Like it had to, like the thing's observing you, so you had to make it a recording device. Why? That's just weird. Like here, you know how you would have made that thing perfect? Instead of it having like a fucking memory feature like that or whatever, where it's observing your habits, let it just save your last fucking input. Like, boom, you don't need to be weird. Like, hey, like you fucking have a button of like, okay, I want like black coffee and then like fucking cream or whatever, and then like blah blah blah. Or like I want dark roast, or I want decaf with 2 sugars and then like vanilla. And then like you just have a button that just has like redo or repeat, and it just makes that last one again. That way you don't need to have fucking weird like goddamn fucking spy level tech observing people. Like that's so weird. Like everything about it's so weird. Like he had all of this like fucking surveillance state type fucking inventions. That was just so weird. But yeah, like you said, if he had just fleshed out his inventions more, or like I said, just backed off of it entirely, either one, if he had just pumped the brakes and like let the idea like, marinate a little bit better and like really hammer out all the details instead of just like pumping out a bunch of like half-baked nonsense, the company wouldn't have tanked as hard as it did, which wouldn't have put him in a financial situation to be taken advantage of by Fazbear Entertainment. But again, like I just like in my head canon, at the very least, his wife and kid were killed by William. That's my head canon. Like his dad, gray area. Like that could have just been like the start of it where William saw an opportunity after Edwin was put in charge. But I could equally see it as William setting everything up by being like, okay, let me get rid of this fucking business titan. And then his kid, who doesn't know shit, is going to inherit it. Then the company will tank, and then I can get everything. I could see that also being plausible. But at the very least, in my head canon, William killed both Fiona and fucking David. because it just makes too much sense. It just makes too much sense. Like, there's a fire the day that Fiona is visiting the Fall Fest. Like, if Fall Fest had continuous issues with shit, and that was just, like, the culmination of tragedy, like, if they had said, like, Fall Fest is repeatedly having, like, fires and, like, fucking shit falling apart and blah, 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 I'd have been like, okay, cool. Like, I would have been like, I get that that's an accident. She was probably trying to help somewhere or whatever, and it was just, like, just perfect storm. But the fact that everything's, as far as we could tell, was going perfectly fine, and there just happened to be a fire that exact day, and it, like, killed either only her or, like, she was, like, centered around it. Either way, like, it's just too much of a coincidence. And then again, David also dying, like David dying during the one time that the mimic isn't watching over him is, like, too convenient as well. Like, because it's a parallel. It's like David's death in this is like a parallel to fucking to Charlotte from the like the original iteration of FNAF games. Because, like, Charlotte had the puppet and David had the mimic. Like, each of them had, like, an animatronic guardian to watch over them, and the only time that they were, like, they were killed at the exact times that they weren't being protected by their robot guardians. Like, it's too coincidental of a parallel. Because, like, William killed Charlotte while she was unprotected. So to me, since they're doing so many parallels in Secret of the Mimic with, like, the original games, like, since they're doing all those parallels, to me, it just makes too much sense that William would have killed David to further spiral Edwin. So at the very least, William killed David. That is, like, that's the thing that I absolutely believe. And then I suspect that he also killed Fiona. Yep. Okay, I'm glad that, like, train of thought makes sense. So, like, to me, like, as far as, like, what I can think and theorize, the true secret of the mimic is that the mimic is the first iteration of, like, possessed robots. Like, the mimic was the very, very first possessed animatronic. Because, like, this takes place, like, this takes place fucking before, like, before Security Breach, but, like, also a lot of other shit. But, like, when in the timeline of when, like, Edwin's shit is happening, that's before fucking, like, I think that's before a lot of Fazbear Entertainment even exists, especially as it is now. So, like, it's before fucking Fazbear, like, Freddy Fazbear Diner, like, Fredbear Family Diner, before any of the restaurants, right? Because this was still back when Chica's Party World was existing, and, like, so this predates, like Fredbear, right? So, like, that means, like, because, you know, like, the initial assumption was that what was it? The initial assumption was that the kids that were killed in FNAF 1 were, like, the first iteration of possessed animatronics. But this game right here is it's confirming that that's not true. That the very first iteration of possessed animatronics came from here. So that's what I'm taking away as, like, the secret of the mimic, is that the mimic is, like, basically the source. The mimic is the first iteration of possessed possessed animatronics, the first iteration of like proving that agony latches onto metal, like the first iteration of Remnant. Like the mimic is the root of FNAF basically. Like everything that came out in the timeline after this is only possible due to the mimic. At least that's the way it's appearing to me from what we've been presented. So I'm really curious what the theorists are gonna like dig out of all of this. I'm really excited to see what comes from this. But all in all, I had a blast. Secret of the Mimic was a really fun game. It was built way better than Security Breach, because Security Breach ran terribly. So they definitely learned from their previous game, which is it's fucking great. That's awesome. I'm appreciative that they learned from that, and like their you know their following title, or one of their following titles, was like such a massive improvement. What else? It was really interesting. A lot of the puzzles were really fun. I like those power puzzles, like where we were like turning the thing. That was really neat, because like that was reminiscent to me of BioShock, but like a better version of it, because like BioShock was pretty like static, like where it was just like you just swap the pieces. That like this one, having you turn them was an interesting difference. So I don't know if it was a nod to BioShock, but that is what I thought of when I saw that puzzle. You said at least they did pay attention to feedback. Yeah, that's good. It's good that they did, because like if you don't pay attention to feedback, then it's going to be a downhill slide for you. So the fact that they did is a good thing. What else? I would like, yeah, I would like to see what they like dig out about Fiona and the Mimic, because like again, as far as I can tell it, Fiona was the one summoning technicians. Like anytime a technician was in the area, Fiona would summon them to try to get the Mimic schematics in order to reset it to make it David again, so that she could have her son back. And it just kept failing until it got to us. I really like to get some more detail on like everything about Fiona and like the Mimic and stuff. And I do want to see what they dig into about the Moon EXE thing, because that was really confusing to me. Like I want to see what a lot of the meanings are, because like there was a shitload of information in there, and I just couldn't make sense of all of it. So I'm really curious about what the deeper meaning of the Moon EXE game is. So I look forward to those theory videos when they come out. Yeah, I think honestly, I think. Yep, I agree. Those would be especially neat. I definitely agree. I think it's probably the thing I'm looking most forward to about seeing like theories about this game is like that specific bit, the Moonixie deep dives. Anyway, since we've wrapped up Secret of the Mimic, the next game that we could play, like we got two options, more or less. Because I said I did get the Lies of P DLC, so that I have that ready. But then I also picked up Deltarune. I think I mentioned that before. Like since Deltarune's fully released, like all the chapters. So we can either play Deltarune or we can play the Lies of P DLC. Which would you prefer, Saint? Because like honestly, I'm good either way. Because we'll end up playing both. It's just about the order, I guess. Like which one we play next. If it's not Kazan, I'm fine playing anything at this point. Because Lies of P was really interesting. And even the hardest ones in that weren't as frustrating as this fucking final fight in Kazan. So honestly, Lies of P wouldn't be nearly as challenging to me. Okay. Yeah, that works for me. I'm down to play Lies of P. I'm really curious about how this DLC works because it's a prequel, so I'm curious to see what information it's going to put. Like, I'm curious to see what they're going to have in it that gives context to the rest of the story. Because, like, that's like, if the prequel somehow has like almost nothing to do with the main story, then I'm gonna be really disappointed. So I'm curious about what exactly they're gonna be fleshing out in it that will like add whatever depth to the main story. Honestly, I think we might just start that tomorrow. Still fucks you up that the Blood Phantom shares a VA with Geppetto. Hey, people got range. Yeah, there are some VAs that got crazy range. Right? All right, yeah. So we can probably start playing that tomorrow. It'll definitely it'll be shorter just because like it'll be a short stream. But I don't really have anything else lined up. So like even on short streams, I think we're just gonna dive into it for now. On it like because I'm not really in the mood to play Apex. Like I'm keeping it updated, but I'm not really in the mood for it. Zombies hasn't released anything that I want to play because like there's like there's been some updates and stuff, but it's just nothing that I really want to grab onto. I'm just still chilling out. Yeah, like I've played a little bit of Apex off stream, but honestly, I just haven't really cared. There's been a whole new legend that came out, and I'm not even interested. Like, I'm just like, it's fine, it's whatever. So like, I'm just chilling out right now. But like I said, I'm keeping it updated, so like, if the mood does strike me at some point, then it's ready to go. But yeah, you're right. It do be like that. Sometimes you just put a game down and you're just like, yeah, I'm good for a while. Oh. What else? Trying to think. I think that's everything. I think honestly, I can't think of anything else. So I think I've covered everything. All my thoughts that I have for like upcoming stuff. Um. Oh, I guess I will give like one heads up. Not this Friday, but next Friday I'll be taking off from stream, which makes sense because it's the 4th of July. So for any U.S. based people, they'll know that it's a Independence Day holiday and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna be spending 4th of July with the family. Yep, it's on a Friday this year. So yeah, next Friday I'll be taking off from stream. Well, well, I mean, since I reminded you about the holiday, you've now got a little bit of time to plan something if you want to do something. Your partner hasn't mentioned anything going on. Yeah, it might be like one of those like chill at home holidays. Just break out the grill, just grill up, buy some fireworks, blow some shit up. I miss how much I love fireworks. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still do love fireworks, but it's like the rest of my family's pretty much fallen off on doing fireworks stuff, so I got tired of being the only one doing fireworks stuff. So I was just like, all right, I guess I'm done then too. Because I was doing it for years. Even like for years after everybody else stopped, I was still buying fireworks and all that. And then I just got like, I think after like the 5th or 6th year, I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I was like, I'm the only one buying fireworks. I was like, I don't care. I was like, nobody's interested. Nobody's trying to like have fun with it. So I guess I'll just hang out then. Yep. Like it's coming back a little bit, like since my brothers have kids and like their kids like doing fireworks. But for me, it's just been there's been too much of a gap between when I had still wanted to do it and then when they started coming to 4th of July stuff. So now I just let like their parents and then like my mom being a grandma, she loves doing stuff with them too. So I just let all of them have their fun and I just chill out now. So I've joined the boring people. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. But I do still just like seeing family and hanging out, so I'm still good. Um, oh yeah,
And I'll make sure.
wanted to make sure to drop a like on that video because that was a really good one. I'm gonna have to go see your parents now. Did I mention it? I mean, that should be fun. See, I'm reminding you of all of these important things. You're welcome. I accept payment in the form of parades. If you do see appearance, I'll get payment in the form of snark. I don't accept that payment, which is why you get snark back. I return it twofold. I return it with interest. I do not accept payment in the form of snark or sass. All rejected payments will be returned with interest. Yeah. I mean, I get enjoyment out of it, so that's my payment. I do it because it brings a smile to my face. Like I said, I have a day job for money, so like, if I need money, I just work. Everything else is for my own enjoyment. All right. I'm glad you can see my side of it. Because yeah, it is fun for me. Oh man. Begrudgingly, yeah, I appreciate it. Begrudge all you want. You're free to begrudge as much as you want to. Go for it. Go nuts. All right. Even though it's a little early, I think we should be good to wrap up here because I think I've watched all the like information that I wanted to get out of like the endings and stuff and the explanations, so I'm good there. I don't really think there's anything else we could do for like 20 minutes that'd be fun or interesting. I think just wrapping up a little bit early is probably the best choice. Like I said, I got my day job again in the morning, so won't hurt for me to get a little bit of early sleep. Go for it. I bet it's going to be a blast. I bet it's going to be so goddamn entertaining. So I hope you have a blast. Hey, listen. Shut up. If I could functionally sleep early, I would. I don't sleep early because it doesn't work for me. So when I say early, I mean early for me, which is as close to normal as I can get. I literally cannot go to bed before midnight. Otherwise, I will wake up in the middle of the night. I don't know what causes that to happen, but it is a literal physiological thing that happens to me. I cannot go to bed before midnight. If I could, I would. I shit you not, anytime I've tried to, I wake up at like 2 in the morning and then I'm fucked. So I sleep as early as I can, as early as I'm physically capable of. That gets me like as much sleep as possible. I would love to like go to bed at a like quote decent time and get like my full 8 winks and shit. But I can't. I've got whatever the fuck body I've got. And it's like, nah, we can't go to bed before midnight. Otherwise, we got to wake up at 2. Yeah, so you get it. It's super weird. Because, like, and you know what? sleep aversion. Yeah. Like, do you get those? Hold on. I gotta ask this though. Do you get those people that tell you to like take naps and shit? They're like, when you're dead tired, like during the day, and they're like, oh, just take a nap. And it's like, you think I wouldn't if I could? Like, my body's so fucking just stupid. It's so weird. It's so weird. Like, if I try to go to bed at night before midnight, I wake up at midnight. Or I wake up at like midnight, 2 a.m. I wake up fucking middle of the night. If I go to bed, like if I try to take a nap though, if I intentionally try to take little sleep, just like a little nap, I get like 6 hours of sleep. So if I laid down at like 2 and wanted to take like an hour or two nap, I wake up at like fucking 9, and it's fucking annoying. Don't other used to tell you just lay there until you got bored and go to sleep? And you're like, does that ever work on anyone? Bro, like, there are some people that shit works for, and it's crazy. Like my mom, she falls asleep in like 5 minutes, and that always pissed me off, like growing up, because like I'd like, she'd be like, okay, like good night, blah blah blah, and then I'd have like a question, and then she'd already be fucking out, like fucking like 2 minutes later, and then I'm up until like 4 in the morning, just literally staring at the ceiling in the dark, just being like, what the fuck is happening? That's your partner? Yeah. People that can go to sleep quickly are so fucking lucky. Like, I will say my sleep has gotten better ever since I did the sleep therapy. Like, I've definitely learned a lot of habits that have made it easier, which has also like helped ease my anxiety. Because like, yeah, that it was a vicious cycle and all that shit. So like, I've gotten better at it, but I still do not fall asleep in like a minute. You watch a falling asleep, sitting straight up, folded like a pretzel, then jerk awake, go back to scrolling his phone. Oh my god. Oh, speaking of like jerking up, bro, like the craziest shit. I think I've mentioned this before. Anytime my mom was ever woken up, which she still does to this day though, like when she's woken up, she acts like she's coming back from the fucking other side. Like fucking gasping and like fucking eyes wide open, regardless of like how you wake her up. It's just fucking just like she's fucking coming back from the other side. That's the only way I can describe it. Like just like she's fine. I'm always worried about it every time, but she's fine, because like I will ask her, I'm like, you good? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, you sound like you're coming back from the dead. Like, what the fuck? She's like, I don't know, man. She's like, this is just how I wake up. I'm like, it's wild. I'm like, that is bonkers to me. Like, she goes to sleep super quick and easy, but then she wakes up like she's coming back from the dead. Like imagine any of those theatrical back from the dead things. Like, okay, like picture Jon Snow coming back from the dead. That's what it's like. It's literally just like fucking just eyes wide open, just fucking massive inhale, just like, holy shit, I'm back. I've returned. Just fucking I'm just like, damn, you good? Sleep is a whole fucking thing. Yeah, it's fucking terrifying for me. Anytime I had to wake her up was fucking terrifying. Because I would try to wake her up as gingerly as I could, just like lightly tapping, just like, hey mom, hey, mom. Like any way I could think of like easing her awake, I tried. I swear to God. And that's the only response I got, was just the eyes wide gasp fucking back from the other side. I was like, yeah, right, pretty much. Oh man. All right, but yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna have a quick snack and try to get some sleep. So, as always, thanks for hanging out with me, Saint. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your night. Take it easy. Have a good one. Enjoy watching Markiplier play Secret of the Mimic. Like I said, I bet it's gonna be fucking hilarious. Have a good one. And to everyone else who joined us tonight, thank you for taking the time to stop by, hang out, chill. I appreciate it. Thank you. I hope you all have a wonderful day, night, whichever happens to be for you. Thank you for the follows. And hopefully I'll catch y'all next time. All right. Bye. Bye-bye. See ya.